Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo 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 Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmatya Shaya Tunvayat Taratashtatish Vigyashvara Tene Brahmarhidaya Adi Kavaye Muyanti Yat Surayaha Te Tyobari Mridham Yatavi Namayo Yatrata Shaka Misha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimani. So this is chapter 1 in first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, text 1, question by the sages. Take the translation, and I'll read only part of the purport because this is a very long purport and it's also a very condensed verse. There's so many things in this verse, so maybe we can talk on this verse for some days. O my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes, of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire, or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Obeisances to the personality of Godhead Vasudeva directly indicate Lord Sri Krishna, who is the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. This fact will be more explicitly explained in the text of this work. Sri Vyasadeva asserts herein that Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all others are his direct or indirect plenary portions, or portions of the portion. Srila Jiva Goswami has even more explicitly explained the subject matter in his Krishna Sandarbha, and Brahma, the original living being, has explained the subject of Sri Krishna substantially in his treatise named Brahma Samhita. In the Samaveda Upanishad it is also stated that Lord Krishna is the divine son of Devaki. Therefore, in this prayer, the first proposition holds that Lord Sri Krishna is the primeval Lord, and if any transcendental nomenclature is to be understood as belonging to the absolute personality of Godhead, it must be by the name indicated by the word Krishna, which means the all-attractive. In Bhagavad Gita, in many places, the Lord asserts himself to be the original personality of Godhead, and this is confirmed by Arjuna and also great sages like Narada, Vyasa, and many others. In the Padma Purana, it is also stated that out of innumerable names of the Lord, the name of Krishna is the primeval one. Vasudeva indicates the plenary portion of the personality of Godhead, and all the different forms of the Lord, being identical with Vasudeva, are indicated in this text. The name Vasudeva particularly indicates the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Sri Krishna is always meditated upon by the Paramhansas, who are the perfected ones amongst those in the renounced order of life. Kam karoti vatalam pangam langati grimyat kripatamaham mande Shri Grum Dina Taranam. Translation again. O Lord, my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vyasadeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestation, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion as one is bewildered by the illusory representation of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in a transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So Krishna is the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam. And we hear here that Janma Adi, that everything in existence comes from Krishna. And Janma we know means birth or existence. So Krishna is Janma Adi, he's the source of both the existence, the creation and the destruction of all universes. This is the beauty of Sanskrit, it is often very condensed. So it's just the Janma Adi. It's just Janma, his creation, and then etc. So that means practically everything there is in existence is coming from Krishna, as Krishna is the cause of everything. Sarva Karma Karanam. So Krishna, we hear here, he's the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, but we also know he's also the son of Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj. So who is actually the father and mother of Krishna? And I think the answer is that both. That Krishna is playing the pastimes and he has the ability to have two mothers and two fathers. It's mentioned that what is it in Sanskrit, this ceremony where the navel is, the umbilical cord is cut. It is done by Nanda Maharaj. Right? Yeah, so in that sense, like that ritual is taken care of by Nanda Maharaj and Yasoda in Vrindavan. Whereas we know Krishna is born from Devaki and Devaki in the prison of Kamsa. We know that Krishna he manifests in the mind of Vasudeva, and then he is transferred onto the womb of Devaki, and there we hear all the intricacies and all the atrocities more of Kamsa trying to kill Krishna. But this verse is glorifying Krishna. This is a verse spoken by Vyasadeva, where he explains that Krishna is the cause of everything, and he's also Janmatya Asya, Janmatya Shaya Tunvayat, Itaratascha Teshva Vigyasvarat. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. So Krishna knows directly what is happening in all the universe, and every living entity, he knows what goes on in their heart. As Bhagavad Gita says, Vedahang samatitani vartamanani chajuna bhavishyani chabhutani mam tu vedana kastyana. That Krishna says, Vedahang, I know everything. Vedahang samatitani, I know everything that has happened in the past. Vedahang samatitani vartamanani chajuna, I know everything that will happen in the future, and also know what is happening right now. Vedahang samatitani vartamanani chajuna bhavishyani chabhutani mam tu vedana kastyana. But me no one knows, Krishna says. So you know, Krishna he knows and meditate upon that, because every Prabhupada says, everyone says that God is great, but nobody understands how God is great. So if we meditate upon Krishna knows what all living entities are thinking right now and doing right now, in all of existence. Not only this tiny material universe we are part of, which is quite big, but all the manifested universes and all the living entities in the spiritual world. Krishna knows exactly what they're doing, what they're thinking right now. Krishna knows exactly what they've been thinking from time immemorial, all living entities. And he knows exactly what we will think and how we will do for the rest of eternity. So this is indication of how how great God is, that it's very, very difficult for a conditioned soul to try to understand the potencies of Krishna. We understand Krishna is the creator, and all these in Christianity and other religions. They understand that God is the creator and He's the maintainer and He's the destroyer. But do they understand that God is like omnipotent in full and omniscient? And do they understand that Krishna knows everything in existence, and He is taking care of everything in existence? Not only do we know every living entity, He takes care of all living entities. And we can say He has His agents. He's using the demigods, but Krishna is giving power to the demigods also. So even though we spoke yesterday about Lord Indra, he was lifting, when Krishna was lifting Govardhan Hill, and how Indra, by his pride, he was punished by Krishna, or more like given mercy by Krishna, because this is what happens. Right? We see that often Krishna is punishing me, something like something happened to us, or we lose our wealth, or we break a leg. Or how would Krishna do that to me? But what it really means is that Krishna is taking care of us. He's showing us even those so-called negative things happening to us is Krishna's mercy. And we can understand that because Krishna loves us. So Krishna would never do anything that hurt us. So when all these things, when we get a little of our karma, that's really also Krishna's mercy. That's Krishna's mercy helping us to become more spiritual and more serious in spiritual life. Or helping us to open up our eyes to understand what is illusion and what is reality. As this verse says, right? Distinguish what is reality and what is illusion. And this is often very difficult for conditioned souls. You don't know what the difference. You don't know what is reality, you don't know what is illusion. We as devotees or aspiring devotees, we know, to some degree, we know, okay, this is Maya, and this is the real thing. We know that Bhagavatam is the real thing. We know that the material world is the temporary thing. And all that is temporary is not unreal. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. Right? Unreal, that's really the translation Prabhupada is giving. So it's unreal in the sense, as we know, as it's temporary. Nasato vitate babu, nababo vitate sataha, ubayo abadristuntas tvanayos tatvadashinaha. Those who have seen the truth, they can understand that everything that is temporary doesn't really exist. And all that is eternal is the only thing that exists. So we are living in a temporary world where nothing really exists. Nothing is real because everything is like a dream. Everything here is temporary. So this verse is showing us what Krishna is, the creator of all this. He's also the destroyer of all we have around us. He's also the maintainer of all we have around us, including ourselves. Of course, we know the soul can never get destroyed, and it's not born in the sense, but it is maintained. So Krishna is maintaining it. And He's maintaining everything that goes on in all these universes. Because He is completely cognizant. He's the only one in existence that are completely independent and is completely He's the only one who knows everything, and Swarat, and He's the only one who is completely independent of everything. We are dependent, fully dependent on Krishna. But Krishna is the only one in existence that are not dependent on anything else. So especially these first verses of Bhagavatam are such good meditations because they explain who is Krishna, and they explain in depth how Krishna is God. And this is really the only thing we need to understand. Janma karma chamitivyam evam yovili sattvatam chaktadeham punatyanma naitimam isvatinam. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that this is really Janma Karma Chamidiyam. Just by knowing Krishna's birth, as we hear about here, Janma, and karma, his activities. Janma karma to me, tivyam, his transcendental activities. Even yogi tattvata, in fact, then we can know Krishna, and we will get the mercy of Krishna. That's really all Krishna is asking. Just try to get to know me. Try to find what is the difference between illusion and reality. That's the only thing Krishna is asking of us. And then he's giving a method. Simply by chanting the holy name, the illusion is broken. Right? Maya disappears. That's how it works. If you're doing it right, then that's how it works. Right? That illusion is dissolved by chanting and by hearing Bhagavatam like we're doing. This is really the purpose of all we are doing, just to break the illusion, just to understand what is reality and what is illusion. So Krishna is giving us all these means how we can do that. So that's why it's so important that we put our energy in these things, that we emphasize these things. When we chant our rounds, we should do it with that prayerful meditation. And we should be very, very aware of we are speaking directly with Krishna. Krishna is listening when we are chanting. Right? Krishna is listening. So we should do our best to give a good yakya when we are chanting. Meaning pronouncing the words and getting the whole thing. You hear so many chanting, right? And I've been living in a temple for many years. And listening to others chanting, some are skipping words or... It's very much recommended that we record our chanting, right? Because then we can hear, is something missing, is something, am I really doing the right pronunciation, or because we should see it as a yakya. This is our offering to Krishna. Like yesterday we were in the kitchen making so many offerings, and you especially, right? We were so like, you're always like, it has to be perfect. Right? I'm more like, okay, it has to be fast. So like everything you put so much energy into this because this is being offered to Krishna. This is what Krishna is going to eat. So you put your endeavor into it, you put your heart into it. Like you try really, this should be as the best I can make out of it. And then as we hear, also Krishna, yesterday he's saying to Nanda Maharaj that you should not make this offering to Indra. You should make it to Govardhan Hill and the cows. And Gopramana Hichayatya, right? Krishna says that the brahmanas and the cows are so much more dear to me. And it's mentioned that if we offer Krishna food, he's very satisfied. But if we offer food to the brahmanas, Krishna is even more. He says, that's what I'm eating. I'm eating through the mouth of the brahmanas. So all devotees are not only brahmanas, they are Vaishnavas. So when you offer food to the devotees, Krishna is so pleased. So that's why these festivals are so fantastic. We are getting so much mercy. Everyone is getting so much mercy. We have kirtan together. Everyone is sitting there meditating on Krishna's name. It's very difficult for the mind to wander during kirtan. It's so easy during japa. It's very in kirtan because you sing. We should all learn this to sing loud, right? We should get everything into it, use our stomachs and everything really. Again, it's an offering for Krishna. It's not just, we're not just doing it, okay, I'm sitting here, okay, I have to do this because now we are sitting in the kirtan, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We should sing from the top of our voices, we should put everything into it. This is our offering, this is the way, and Krishna reciprocates. So if you start doing that, then kirtan becomes ecstatic. If you start sitting in the Bhagavatam lecture with the right mentality, then that will become ecstatic. And more difficult, if you start doing our service, our menial service every day with that mentality, that becomes ecstatic. So that's why Prabhupada says chanting the Krishna consciousness means chanting, dancing and feasting. This is what we are doing, always. This is the whole process. That's everything we are doing, chanting, dancing and feasting. So Sukham Kartum, Krishna consciousness is so joyfully performed if you do it in the right way. So that's what we are gradually learning. But we'll only learn that if we put our heart into the things we are doing. That's the only, otherwise we'll just keep it, it'll be mechanical. And we are withdrawing. Right? If you're not really in the kirtan, if you're not really throwing our heart into it and really being there, trying, this is my yakya to Krishna, then we will get a very meager result. Yatamam papatyanti tamstataivadyam. Krishna reciprocate. Krishna is giving us what we put into devotional service. Krishna is multiplying thousands and thousands and thousandfold. Right? But if we only put in a little, Krishna is also only multiplying a little. But if you give everything and Krishna see, here's my devotee, he's really endeavoring, he's really trying his best, he's really doing whatever he can, right? He's, whatever limitations we have, because we have so many. But Krishna is really seeing, here's the devotee, he's trying, the little Hanuman and the little squirrel there. Right? That it's really the endeavor. It's what we put into it, it's what is there in our heart. If we really have the desire to purify our hearts, to really get to know Krishna, in that Krishna reciprocates. I think my time is up now. Any comments or questions? No.
All very clear.
That's good.
No disagreements. To the point.
Okay, then we can get on with our ecstatic service for the day. Grandrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srimad Prabhupada ki,
Jai Hari Hari Bol.